So, of course, let's talk about it. The LeBron and Stephen A. Smith drama. Personally speaking, I decided to put this off a couple of days, or at least I attempted to talk about it. However, as time progressed, Stephen A. Smith decided to, divulge a little bit more information of what happened during the confrontation, in which I listened to, and originally I had a fairly neutral stance on it. However, as time has continued to progress, personally speaking, I will refuse to allow Stephen A. Smith to play the victim in all of this, because I think that is completely crazy and disingenuous.
Because it's incidents like this that people try to piggyback off of. And they try to use it as an excuse to talk about me, hating on brothers. Me, the brother who is the ambassador for HBCU Week, that's generated millions in scholarship dollars for thousands of kids. Me, who's helped diversify ESPN with the opportunities as executive producer of First Take Black folks.
So for those who don't know, but I'm pretty sure you do know, a couple of days ago, the Lakers matched up with the Knicks. LeBron confronted Stephen A. Smith quite literally in the middle of the game. The confrontation seemed very heated between the two, where LeBron effectively said something and then walked right off. The very next day on First Take, and even on his podcast, Stephen A. Smith illuminated some of the concerns, or at least where a lot of this frustration stemmed from.
Okay, hey, y'all, welcome to the channel. What I'm trying to figure out is, like, where was Stephen A. being a victim? Let's go. I got 22 minutes to figure out how was Stephen A. victim in this.
Had a lot to do with Bronny. And then in the following days, there was a back and forth between LeBron and Richard Jefferson, again, on the court, in which you can kind of see LeBron mouthing off the iconic phrase of, please, LeBron, I'm pleading with you as a father. Now, again, originally, my take on this was fairly neutral. Anyone who knows me on this channel knows that I've been very critical of LeBron, Bronny, and the whole nepotism dialogue, in large part because how disingenuous everyone was in terms of covering the whole...
What I'm going to say already going in, my preconceived before truly watching this video again, because I think I seen it one time through months ago, is that Low, what do people call? Low and Flight Mike gotta be getting paid. He gotta be getting paid to do the video. And I don't know. I would just assume, because how would you just make a 22-minute video about somebody being a victim but not say anything that makes him a victim? I gotta hear it. And Flight Mike, why would you live in Utah, bro? Why did you in LA and have your camera out during the timeout? Like, you knew this shit was gonna happen. Interesting.
Early on this season. However, I can also see, as time has progressed, how nasty the dialogue has continued to be, and once more consistently been disingenuous.
Okay, he's a victim and he's had nasty dialogue. I want to hear it.
And I do believe Stephen A. Smith's coverage on it was a bit disingenuous as well.
Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career, and 0 for 7 from three-point range, and he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
And so when LeBron decided to confront Stephen A. Smith, though it could be perceived as wrong, and I have no problem with leaning on that side of this topic, I do believe that if you are LeBron, this is something that not only you signed up for, but you effectively signed up your son for as well, for people to talk this way about him and discuss his game in a very disingenuous, lacking context, lacking detail way, but you kind of know that comes with the space. But now, since Stephen A. Smith keeps running his mouth about this, in all honesty, I don't care. Stephen A. Smith, you have to stop acting as if like you're a victim, because it's a tired role that you're playing, especially from anyone who knows the true details behind not only this story, but also how ESPN and how everything over there functions from a rating standpoint or from a topic standpoint, because the bullshit that you've been getting off for the past week or two, it ain't flying no more.
On Friday, First Take, and on the Stephen A. Smith Show, your podcast on YouTube, you addressed the LeBron and RJ exchange on Monday on your show. So what do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father.
Oh, so it's weak now. Oh, it's
been weak, bro. Get to the point, bro. I've been fucking watching this video 3 minutes, 33 seconds. You ain't made a point, bro. All these emotions, bro. Oh, like, yes, this shit is weak, bro. Shit is fucking weak, bro. You gonna wait till your team is up one game and you had a timeout where you go say some shit? After y'all off a couple wins and you feeling good where you can finally say some shit?
It's weak.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes, that shit's weak.
The choice of words we have for people in today's game. Because back in the day, if an NBA player had a problem with someone in the media and they addressed them man to man, all of a sudden, that's how it's supposed to get done. We talk about man to man. Now all of a sudden, if somebody approached you in a man to man manner, now all of a sudden, it was weak. It was some bullshit. The reason why I'm not going to allow you to get that off, because you're the same one for years now, sitting here talking about,
And I feel the need to call him on it. I couldn't let it go. And from now on, this implication that I don't know stuff, y'all better think twice about that. Because when these NBA games come, you're going to see me at these arenas. And remember what I said to you. I can find out more in 10 minutes at a basketball arena than I can on the phone with 50 different people inside of 2 weeks. Think about that and ask yourself, do you really want to go there? But I will say this lastly. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. And I'm looking right into the camera. And I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it.
you went on Friday on your podcast on Soft Tone
4 or 5 minutes, still ain't made a point of how he's a victim. I'm trying to hear it though.
talking about, I don't want no enemies. But we all know over the years, you've literally said the opposite. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. Yeah, that's how you've been talking. So,
Telling somebody you don't want no enemies and also saying you don't want me to be your enemy is completely valid. What's wrong with that? What's wrong if I go up to somebody and be like, hey, I don't want no enemies. But if you make me your enemy, it's gonna not be good for you. But I do not want no enemies. Choose love over war every time. But if you need to get to war, we can get it there. What the fuck are we talking about?
somebody actually approach you, now all of a sudden, it was weak.
LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turned around and
Talking about, I don't want no enemies. But we all know over the years, you've literally said the opposite. It was weak.
It wasn't about him. It was about how he approached him. It was about how he... Nigga, I'm here as a fan watching the game and a reporter, but a fan, bro. Like, I'm in the stands. Fucking finish your work, then come talk to me, bro. What the fuck are you doing?
LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turned around, and he's right here in my face. He's...
Like, what do you want him to do? Tell LeBron, sit your ass down, bro. Do this shit later. And then LeBron either has to go sit his ass down like a little punk, or he punches Stephen A, and then he fucking looks like a goofy. Stephen A like, this is your game. I'm on your home court, bro. Have your 5 seconds of fame because you really needed this. You really been planning this shit out. Okay, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Cool.
Said, yo, you gotta stop talking shit about my son. You gotta stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You gotta stop fucking with my son. And I said,
Yeah, let's talk later, bro. You're in the middle of a basketball game. If you're worried about the wrong shit, you asked for this shit. You got the nigga drafted. The nigga was trash. Still is trash. Got more opportunities than any other trash nigga would have ever got. Put some buckets in the hoop. Eventually, which all hoopers is going to do, eventually put buckets in the hoop.
that I know. And he walked off. And so when I went on the air the next morning,
Put buckets in the hoop. What does that even mean? Get buckets. Put the ball in the hoop and get buckets.
first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you got to talk about it. This is you and him. This man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop.
No lies.
This right here, I agree. I think everyone, including myself, I was like, bro, I get it.
Okay, so you're 6 minutes in the video and you agree.
Like a father, but you of all people know what unrealistic expectations feel like. You of anyone knows that. So why you would even place that at the feet of your own son is crazy. Even you yourself said that one of my biggest regrets is naming him after myself, making him a junior, because that comes with expectations. So you adding on to that, yes, I believe that was unfair. I think that is a fair assessment in which LeBron was wrong. However, We are so far removed from that point at this juncture in the timeline, it's borderline irrelevant.
I'm hearing all of this. Yeah, you know, we just gonna go along with it. Open the night I'm talking about. Open the night. And we just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Jeannie Buss, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. One of those cats standing there.
Stapleton.
Ken Griffey, Steve Griffey, Senior and Junior, who all stars, Hall of Famer, and Ken Griffey Jr., they got them there. Again, I've been covering it for 30 years, not NBA.
Why don't you just start off a video and make your point first and then back it up? Like, why just make a point and then not back it up? Like, within 7 minutes of a video, I should know, like, how he's been a victim. I should know, like, what he said that was a lie or what he said that was too far.
Sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. But I'm still. I'm still right there. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is the part where I agree with him, but at the end of the day,
This is the second time you agree with him. So where's the part where you disagree?
that's how you chose to go about it. Just because you chose about being fake and phony with the other malarkey doesn't now then justify.
It ain't fake and phony. You had a plan. You the self-proclaimed chosen one. Hey, bro. Hey, we believe it. We'll entertain it until it ain't need to be entertained. You got a plan. You said your son was better at 17, 18 than a lot of niggas in the NBA. Like, you be watching League Pass back home, and I see my son could do what these dudes is doing and better. What are you, Jesus, nigga? Like, what are you fucking... You can, if you follow my teachings, you can do the same miracles I've done and greater. What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you actually talking about? So when it actually happens, when you guys actually create a narrative that Golden State Warriors, smart ass dynasty of a team, wanted to draft him, and like, oh, there's people arguing, fighting over LeBron James, and when in the NBA, as teams agreed not to draft a fucking player, because. Hey, yo, don't draft him because this team wants to draft him. What the fuck are we talking about?
You decide to cover it when there's new information.
First day, opening day. Yeah, yo, clap it up. Let's see if he puts up, let's see if he does something. Hey, I don't buy none of this shit, but y'all telling me the strongest human in the world is coming to town? And he's doing his little pump up shit. He's pumping up. I'm be like, yo, Lucky, let's go, fucking bench 1,000 pounds. And then he sits there and he can't bench 1,000 pounds. And be like, nigga, why did you just tell everybody you could bench 1,000 pounds? Why did you have me take off work to come here? Why did you have everybody fucking waiting for this moment? And ain't shit happening.
Information provided. As he continues to go about this, let me further add new details to everything that has occurred since.
Please add one detail that you disagree with.
In particular with the draft. Bronny was drafted 55th overall pick. That's literally where everybody said that he was going to go. He was going to go, at best, late second round. Also, there were a bunch of people sitting there talking about, allegedly, like he said, it was some questionable reporting on if teams like Boston and Phoenix and Golden State.
Questionable reporting, you mean propaganda released by Clutch Sports, probably? Why does Boston, why does these people want Bronny James unless they want to fleece a fucking fucked up ass trade from the Lakers? Like, hey, we got your boy, let's hold him as ransom. We ain't gonna use him, we gonna sit on the bench and be on the D-League with us. Give us a first round pick for him.
If they were actually entertaining if Bronny was going to get drafted here, or they were just trying to make it sound fly to make it seem as if like he actually was worthy of the selection. So the fact of the matter is we are now at a point where some of the comments that were being made about Bronny might have actually been justified, because if you were having any interest in Bronny, he actually would be a better prospect than the niggas that y'all actually drafted over him or around him. So that point is now mute.
How?
Justified, because if you were having any interest in Bronny, he actually would be a better prospect than the niggas that y'all actually drafted over him or around him.
Who? How would he be a better prospect? Nigga coming off of a heart surgery, and even before or after the heart surgery wasn't even like that. Got handed the McDonald's All-American, was never even like that. How is he more of a prospect? Because his daddy did this? You know what I mean? Michael Jordan's daddy was great too. Like, he's a better prospect than the people that was coming out in his year. No?
So that point is now mute, but of course you're not bringing that up.
Now you got to go to the G.
Is he a better prospect because he had 10 times more opportunity and got built up trust and got catered to so much where he didn't have to play in certain games? And at this point, bro, for real, like, even the game he went off in the NBA, I think that shit was a fluke. I don't think Clutch was like, hey, yo, give him some openings. If Bronny James scores 15, everybody on this team gets 40 bands from us. A little bonus. It'll be good for the media.
And earn your stripes. Instead, he's playing and playing and playing. And I'm getting stats. And he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter. Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on SportsCenter 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job? If now you put me in a position where because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how do all of that's happening? But Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say. I can't get away with it no more.
So this is the other part that is just so disgusting and disingenuous. And this is where Stephen A. Smith, you lose me with a lot of this. I'm the media. I cover the media. Y'all just talk about the media. And so the standard in which I speak about it is higher than everybody else, and that's why I'm in a different echelon about that. You lose me with that shit when you talk about what's going on in Bronny's career as if like there isn't nuance and details that need to be outlined about it. The way that Stephen A. Smith breaks the
Outline them then, bro. It's 10 minutes in the video.
down, he's breaking it down as if like he's giving you all of the necessary details that led up to that game against the Philadelphia 76ers, which he's not. When Stephen A. Smith talks about he's playing and he's playing and he's playing in blowout minutes. I don't know anybody who would dare call that playing.
Bronny James has played in third.
You don't know who would call it playing, bro? Let me tell you who would call it playing. 10 million people in the USA would probably call that playing if they got the chance to play in blowout minutes. You know who else would? Your GOAT, LeBron James, who plays in blowout minutes to pad his stats. He would call that playing. Everybody who's ever played a sport would say, hey, coach, can I even get in the last play of the game? I want to play. I don't care if I ain't played all game.
13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds.
You showing me the numbers that someone posts up when they're out there playing 1 or 2 minutes in a game that's already been decided when
Literally double the minutes, 4.2.
the Lakers are emptying out their bench.
Oh, this was before. Chill out.
Nigga, that is not an accurate representation of who that player is because they're out there only playing a minute or two of basketball. Secondly, there was no discussion about the fact that in that game against the Sixers, Gabe Vincent is out, Vanderbilt is out, and AD got hurt in that game. Thirdly, if you're going to sit here and talk about Bronny, the defensive player...
It's two people...
And in that game against the Sixers, Gabe Vincent is out.
Two bench riders, two people coming off the bench, not even bench riders, two people coming off the bench are out. So he gets called up because he's next up because he got drafted to play basketball. And now they're out. What did you expect him to do? If you put Jalen Hood in there, I'm sure it would have been a different story. I'm sure he would have took that moment and did something with it. Not been like, well, these two guys were out. I think that's the reason you were in the game, probably.
Bill is out and AD got hurt in that game. Thirdly, if you're going to sit here and talk about Bronny, the defensive player, why the hell are you talking about his scoring numbers? But fourth and final,
Who gets who gets drafted just to play defense in the NBA? If that's the case, yo, give me a call. I used to play football, bro, and I'd be D'ing people up at the gym. I tell people every time I get picked up and pick up basketball at the gym, I say, do not pass me the ball on offense, but I'm going to guard their best player. And you know what happens pretty much every game? the best player on the other team literally either has 0 or 2 points, maybe 4 points if a switch gets off, a pick and roll gets off, and my guy somebody on my team says switch to switch, and then he gets scored on them. But you know what generally happens? 0 to 2 points on me, and then they just take another game. My team's basically playing 4-on-4. And I say, hey, bro, it's better if you're not in the game and I'm not in the game than me being in the game and you being in the game. And they don't realize that at first. Oh, this fast. Oh, this one really playing defense. Then on offense, I'm still boxing them up. They're like, why are you boxing me up, bro? You're on offense. I'm like, hey, bro, I do not want you touching the ball. I'm not trying to get the ball. Does it fuck up my team? A little bit. Does it fuck up the spacing? A little bit. Does it fuck up the flow and the movement on offense? Probably. And am I realizing that now? Probably. But that's why you can't be in the NBA as just a defensive player. Oh, why are you talking about his offense? Is basketball not a two-way game? Is basketball soccer? Do you have defensive players, midfielders, and off? Like, what are we talking about? Is basketball football? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Khalil Mack. You guys, he didn't score any touchdowns last year. He's a defensive player. But he can still score a touchdown, true. But how many tackles did he have? Are you talking about a fucking 6'2" defensive player? Like, we shouldn't talk about his offense. It's basketball, bro. Who else gets that treatment in the NBA? He's a defensive player. Don't talk about his offense.
Responsibility to talk about numbers. But fourth and finally, if you believe it's your responsibility to talk about his numbers, then why the hell are you not talking about his numbers in the G League when it would have justified him getting a little bit more burn in the NBA? Why are you not talking about the fact that he just got off of the best game of his G League career when the game before in the G League he put up like 31 points and 3 steals? Why didn't you talk about
Them G League dudes might do anything for a check too. You go to the G League and tell them like, hey, lax on his D. And watch the G League game. Watch the whole G League game and see if he was really cooking or was the defense a little soft. Really peep game and see was the defense soft. And then watch that same team he played and scored 31 on and see how them same people were playing people the game before that.
About that? See, when you add that context of, hey, the numbers that ESPN right now putting up on the screen, it's unfair because he's only playing blowout minutes. Hey, the reason why he may have gotten to the game is because XYZ players are hurt and they need a defensive-oriented player. Hey, when we talk about his numbers, us using points doesn't really make any sense because he's a defensive-oriented player. Hey, we also...
That doesn't make any fucking sense. That don't make no damn sense. I don't, excuse me. That don't make no sense. Like, straight up. Stop with that shit. I don't want to hear that shit no more, bro. You 11 minutes in, you made a point that don't make no sense. He's a defensive player. Don't talk about his offense. He scored 30 in the G League. Isaiah fucking Thomas. How many did he just score in the G League? 50? Is he in the NBA? So he scored damn near double what Bronny scored, but is not in the NBA. Is his how tall is Isaiah Thomas? 1 inch shorter than Bronny? 2 inches shorter? Putting up 50? What's the defense talking about?
Take into consideration that he's getting some more reps in the league because he's actually killing it in the G League. Hey, and the Lakers do this all the time. You can go through the Lakers roster right now, and there's like a handful of players who will only play a game or two here and there because the Lakers...
Isaiah Thomas is 5'9" as fuck. Like, we're not even going to talk about it. 5 inches shorter than Bronny James, dropping 50 in the G League.
all season long have been trying to round out their lineup or their bench with a bunch of players who play in the G League. So Bronny really and truly isn't that far removed from being in the NBA. But this idea that, oh, he's out there, he's playing, bro, he's playing blowout minutes. That's what he's doing. So
he's playing minutes. There's 48 minutes in the basketball game, and he's playing 5 of them. Over 10%.
Even portray this as something as, oh, look at how bad he's playing in the NBA, but not talk about what he's doing in the G League with more reps, more rhythm, more minutes. It's crazy. Talking about what's...
Why are we talking about the G League, bro? Why are we talking about the G League, bro? Like, what are you talking about? You really came up on YouTube to talk about the G League?
Somebody does in the last 2 to 3 minutes of a blowout game but don't talk about when they're receiving 30-plus minutes in the G League that may have justified him getting some more opportunity in the NBA is crazy. And even when he's played much better in the NBA, post that game, you niggas still don't talk about it. So spare me with this bullshit about how it's my job. It's my job. Nigga, you're not talking about any other second-round pick. Y'all niggas ain't really talking about anybody in this draft, first or second.
Because everybody else in the draft deserved to be there. So it ain't nothing to talk about. We trust in their process. The niggas we don't trust their process is the people who got handed their spot. So now it's like, why did they get handed that spot? Who got drafted after Bronny James? Trenton Flowers got offers from every school, averaged for about 15 points at UNLV in his junior year. What was it 6 rebounds or something? 6'8", a real baller. After the Bronny James, hella potential. What would he do if he got all the minutes to play? Would he be like, I'm just playing garbage minutes, I can't do anything, coach? Or would he be like, yo, give me the ball, I got 3 minutes? What the fuck are we talking about, bro? Have you ever played a sport before, bro? Like, I have to know. Because, like, I ain't even trying to do all that shit, bro. But, like, yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
Because if you were, then you would be talking about what the fuck Reed Shepard is doing, and he was a top 5 selection from the Houston Rockets. But you niggas not talking about that. Second.
Hella potential, and hella size, and hella accolades, and he's done shit. He's done shit to get him there. There's a reason why all the NBA scouts rated him that high. There's a reason why only one NBA scout, and that's LeBron James, the NBA scout for the Lakers, rated Bronny that high. Could have signed him as an undrafted free agent, guaranteed.
He's sitting here. When he just sat there and said, he said this before, damn, it's all on, everybody talking about, it's percolating, it's all over social media. A, Stephen A. Smith decided to report on this on ESPN and on his channel. Very important information. And the reason for that is because, two, throughout this last week, in the attempt to remove any responsibility for what Stephen A. Smith decides to report, he continued to talk about how, NBA players, what they're really upset about is social media, how anybody can just pick up a microphone and talk about the game.
Social media ain't the media. But what the players have done, adroitly I might add, is lump it all in the same bowl as an excuse to point the finger. In today's generation, you've got all of these outlets, podcasts, TMZs, and everything else in between. And the players never ever specify. They lump on purpose because it's a way for them to escape accountability for what they're doing.
Which, for someone who may not be too familiar with how this game works, that may have came across as a valid point. But see, someone who is very well versed in media, especially from an independent standpoint, it's contradicting. See, on one hand, you can't sit here and remove yourself from any responsibility and claiming that, y'all getting caught up in social media. But on the other hand, you're telling us that social media, depending on what's trending on social media, dictates what you all talk about on ESPN. See, that's two different things. And Stephen A. Smith.
How is that bad?
It's a way for them to, and the players never ever specify. They lump on purpose because it's a way for them to escape accountability for what they're doing.
Which, for someone who may not be too familiar with how this game works, that may have came across as a valid point. But see, someone who is very well versed in media, especially from an independent standpoint, it's contradicting. See, on one hand, you can't sit here and remove yourself from any responsibility and claiming that, y'all getting caught up in social media. But on the other hand, you're telling us that social media, depending on what's trending on social media, dictates what you all talk about on ESPN. See, that's two different things. And Stephen A.
You're on ESPN. This isn't a basketball analytics channel. This is a channel that's supposed to cater towards the views of the people. Meaning, if it's getting talked about on social media, maybe the social population wants to hear from the sports and media their thoughts on the given topics that are trending on social media. So if Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are trending on social media, maybe these sports talkers in the media should talk about it to give more insight or their own context or opinions or thoughts or their own facts on what is actually going on. And then you debate. And instead of having a Twitter beef with people who maybe aren't as in it as the people in the sports media, you have a general conversation with other people who are hopefully studying the game like you.
The reason why it's important to highlight that you talked about it on ESPN and on your own show, because on your own show, as an independent media member, you ain't got no boss hovering over you telling you what you got to talk about. You make all the decisions about what you want to talk about there yourself. But when you had the free will to talk about anything you wanted to on your own show, you still followed up following that day, talking about the same events and still lacking the context that came behind it.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
So, of course, if I'm an NBA player, it's easy for me to mix up the two because both of y'all niggas talk the same. The media and social media, y'all have the same talking points. Further proof.
Yeah, because we watching the same games, bro. What you expect? What you expect? They watching the different games. We have different shit to talk about. We watching the same shit. They just slightly more educated on it, probably.
Put the Bronny point aside. Everyone comparing Darvin Ham's record last year in the first 20-25 games to JJ Redick's record in the first 20 to 25 games. That's from social media. Social media was the first.
And it's a great conversation to have. Fire Darwin. Oh, say you got a better coach. Prove it.
On Twitter, in particular, that was the first time I've ever seen people sitting there counting the numbers every single day. It's 17 and 19. It's 18 and 19. It's 18 and 21.
What's wrong with that? You mad because it didn't fit your narrative that JJ Redick was supposed to be better?
That was the first time I'd ever seen that. That's a social media talking point. I've been behind the scenes with some of these networks. I know for an irrefutable fact that they use some of the things that are posted on Twitter as talking points.
We also never seen a coach killer like LeBron James. So if you're going to be killing coaches' careers or resumes and you're going to be getting coaches fired, maybe make it make sense. Otherwise, we're going to come out and be like, yo, LeBron, why did you get that nigga fired for this guy who ain't doing no better?
What they decide to go in the next day with. That's an irrefutable fact. And if you don't believe me, we know this because these are the same niggas who got caught using NBA Centel as real quotes. That's what they got duped by a parody Twitter account. That's how we know you niggas use Twitter. So spare me with the bullshit about, oh, y'all get us all mixed up. You can't get the media mixed up with social media. Nigga, the media talking points, what they decide to discuss, how they gauge what's rating fairly is based off of social media. Because even in that game when Bronny played...
Okay, 16 minutes in. Thank you.
Really, y'all could have led with anything else. Y'all could have led with how great Tyrese Maxey was, or you could have led with the fact that Anthony Davis got hurt and come to find out that was actually the last game that AD played as a Laker. But that's what you could have led with. That's a much more compelling and impactful story than the 4 or 5 minutes that Bronny played in the first quarter. Like, be fucking for real.
Who did? You went on the show. They got criticized, bro. I said he was taking up the goddamn roster spot.
What's wrong with wanting to play with somebody you love?
When J.R. Smith.
What's wrong wanting to play with somebody you love? This ain't Lifetime, bro. Go to Lifetime. Go to LA Fitness and do that shit. This is professional sports, bro. What are you talking
J.R.
about?
Smith and Chris Smith.
Now, this right here is where it gets so disingenuous and so nasty. And now, because of what Stephen A. Smith said, because he wants us to separate the media from social media, now I'm going to have to side with Nick Young because let's just keep it a bean. Nobody does not say shit about Thanasis and mainstream.
Thanasis was already drafted before Giannis, bro. Thanasis didn't get drafted to Giannis' team. Giannis didn't go on a campaign talking, my brother is so much better than half the players in this league. And whoever drafts him, that's who I'm signing with.
Media and him playing and
Come on,
it up
bro.
with the Milwaukee Bucks over the past handful of years. No one says anything about that at all. If anything, people go out of their way to try to justify why that man was on the Bucks, even though we don't know that he was not qualified to be in the NBA whatsoever.
He got criticized for that.
No,
Yes.
not in the media like every day like Bronny is.
But
Thank you. It's not whatsoever.
he got criticized for that.
No,
Yes.
they're not in the media like every day like Bronny is.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not the same. And I don't ever even remember hearing anybody.
Because it wasn't all that build up to it, bro.
It's your job, remember? It's your job. Because we had this fucking conversation as if like you're not doing it because it moves right.
It wasn't all the build up.
It's your job to talk about NBA players. So why do you never talk about Thanasis? You never talk about that shit. What's crazy, most of y'all don't even know this, but a couple of years ago, Milwaukee had a Greek night. They may have always had this. I remember they had a Greek night. And at this Greek night, they were celebrating, Giannis and Thanasis. Even after the game, they had a bunch of other people that, if I'm not mistaken, shared the nationality of both Giannis and Thanasis. They sung the national anthem. It was a very, very beautiful story. They had their tweets all in Greek as well. It was a really great story. And to add to it, because Thanasis was there, solely because his brother is Giannis, that's the only reason why he was there. They decided during this night, two brothers, Greek night, perfect story, let's put him in the starting lineup, even though Thanasis does not deserve to be in the starting five. Be very mindful at this point, bro, the Bucks are in straight B post. We're trying to...
Okay, so you're doing something for your community. You have a big Greek community in Wisconsin, and you're doing something for the community and starting some Greek players. That could have happened even if Giannis was on the team. Like, yo, we got a Greek baller. Like, cool, start him.
Championship run, and they put him out there in the starting five. Tip-off, played about 4 minutes, subbed him out to put in Brook Lopez, and yes, Brook Lopez was available. Subbed him out to put in Brook Lopez, and he never touched the floor ever again. Do you know what First Take decided to lead with the very next show they had? I can't even make this up. I promise you I can't make this up. Stephen A. still picks LeBron over Patrick Mahomes as the MVP of all of sports. They just made up a topic to put LeBron in after that happened. Let's be fucking real with ourselves here. People are talking about it because it's LeBron's son. Spare me with this whole the way that he did it, and I'm pretty sure that certainly adds a level of heightened criticism behind it. But if Bronny played in Utah, you niggas would be talking about it because it pays to be ultra critical and hate on LeBron. Anything that pertains to LeBron pays the bills. You niggas have been so thirsty talking about LeBron when somebody else did it, and y'all were talking about football. You niggas still talked about LeBron. You niggas have been living off of LeBron longer than Bronny has been alive. That man Giannis scored 20,000 points, the sixth youngest to ever get to 20,000, and there was no post on Instagram or Twitter, no segment. And you think I'm supposed to believe y'all all of a sudden you talk about when Thanasis gets minutes? Man, get the fuck out of here. That's why I'm not believing the bullshit.
You haven't made 1 point, bro, in 20 minutes. Talking about you moving goalposts, talking about Thanasis, cool.
The problem with all of this is the disingenuous rhetoric that comes behind it. The same way that I wanted us to be honest about what nepotism really was, how someone could benefit and also be a victim of nepotism back a couple of months ago. This idea that we're sitting here acting as if like all second round picks, 55th overall picks get guaranteed contracts, as if like they ain't just sitting here trying to do shenanigans for LeBron. Hey, if you want to do it, fine.
That's literally what happened. All 55th picks don't get guaranteed contracts. That's literally what happened. That's what we're talking about.
I don't have to sit there and applaud it. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, shout out to LeBron, shout out to LeBron. But that's it. You all make your story. All of this stuff is disingenuous. All of it is nonsense. Stop acting as if like we have to separate you from social media when y'all talking points come from social media. Stop acting as if like you have fair, unbalanced coverage of who Bronny is as an athlete because you all don't do that. Stop acting like it's that far-fetched for someone to believe or take offense of you trying to judge their parenting when you quite literally lead with as a parent. And please stop acting like a victim that he came and approached you in the middle of the game because nigga, that's what you have been asking for the last 10 years. So again, this is a nuanced conversation where both parties can.
Nigga, focus up on your game, bro. Deal with some beef after the game. We're supposed to be the GOAT, nigga. Focus up on the game.
On some level of responsibility and fault at all of this. But Stephen A. Smith.
You're not supposed to be the GOAT. You want to be the self-proclaimed GOAT, but that's not going to happen for you. Nobody's looking at you.
Once someone trying to absolve himself any form of criticism or accountability or responsibility while also trying to put himself in higher regards than everyone else, while also sitting here telling niggas and begging them, you know where to find me, while also not doing your fucking due diligence by giving niggas detailed nuance and information that is valuable to the story. I'm sick and tired of you playing the victim. All y'all niggas is weird. The whole story has been weird. And nobody doesn't want to have a real honest conversation around it. Which is why I said what I said before, but I am done talking about this because in all honesty, it's not a real story. You just care about your ratings. You just care about your viewership. That's it. And you know anything that's attached to LeBron will raise viewership. That's why you talk about it. And don't tell me about, oh, my boss at ESPN made me do.
Good luck, y'all. If you like the video, like the video. If you interested in what I'm going to talk about next, please subscribe to the channel. And then, yeah, if you have some comments or something, just leave a comment in the whoop wop. But fuck that shit.